boys and girls, when you're decorating your sketchbook cover, you want to start by spelling out your name. And I use a pencil just in case I make a mistake. I can erase it and start over again. It's okay if some letters touch each other. Alright, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I start there, and if I'm not a big fan of it, I can erase it, but I'm going to be drawing over with a Sharpie. Now, you're going to do all this in pencil first, because I have had practice. I'm going to switch to Sharpie. Now, I will have some links that you guys can click on, so you guys can learn how to do block letters. Block letters have corners and straight lines. And I also have the lowercase too. And then the bubble letters. The bubble letters have curves instead. So here's the uppercase and the lowercase. Alright. So here's how I start. I'm going to turn mine into bubble letters. So again, I'm using a marker, but at this time you can use a pencil still. So I'm going to go around. I'm drawing a shape around the letter. And it's okay if I go off a little bit. It doesn't really matter because the original writing is going to be erased. Now what I start with is I start with a big letter on the outside and then a small letter on the inside, and then all you have to do is connect them together. Now you can make it a straight line, and that would be considered a block letter, or you can make it into a curved line, which would be a bubble. So I'm going to do a bubble, so I do a curved line instead, and then I move on to the next one. Now I like to overlap my letters because I have a giant name, so I like to overlap them. So I kind of imagine that my next letter is going to be behind my first one. So my O is going to be behind my C. So I start by drawing a big O. Now wherever my C is, I skip, and then I draw a small O. Now this is where you can really change your style. So of course you can make the O small like I did the S, or you can make it really small, just like that. And it still looks like an O, it's just more of a style O. Do the same thing with the S. I'm going to draw. Now imagine I'm still drawing, but I skip there. Now because my O is so much lower, I'm going to do the same thing with the S, make that a little bit lower. And then I draw a smaller S. And then, of course, my curved lines. Alright, I'll do the same again. Now sometimes I switch back and forth. Once you get the hang of it, you can switch back and forth. Again, it's not perfect. Mine's not perfect. You may think differently, but I know it's not perfect. Now I like to do this kind of A, but you can do the regular A if you want to. And I like to add little tails. I think those are fun. And to match the O, I like to do the same with any open letters that have a hole. I like to match. So now I'm just drawing around the shape. Notice I'm changing the way I'm doing it now a little bit. So same with the B, it has a hole in it, so I keep it the same. And then I'm going to do my O's, making sure I fit enough space for that N. Now some of you might have a shorter name than me. Lucky you guys, but mine's nice and big. So there's my name, and what I'll do next is I'll take my eraser and I'll erase the inside of the letter. Now those of you who did this in pencil, you just got to be extra careful that you don't erase your new letter. Alright, and then when you're comfortable, you feel like you have a good letter design. Is my camera shaking? Probably. Alright, then you'll outline it with a marker. Now, if you don't have a marker to outline, you can outline it with a crayon, colored pencil, whatever you wish. Now, this is where you get to be really creative. I like to add a design in my letters and a design back here. So I'll let you decide if you just want to leave it blank and add color, or you could do patterns inside. But you know what? I'm just feeling drips. I feel like it's going to be dripping some paint. So I'm just going to add some wavy lines, like some paint has been dripped onto my letters. And I might even add some little dots of color. All right, and now I get to decorate the background. So I'm gonna draw a pencil first. And you know, since it's art class, I'm gonna draw a big paintbrush. So you may draw whatever you wish back here, whatever your favorite thing to do is, or whatever kind of picture is speaking to you. Again, I always start with pencil. That way, if I make a mistake, I can just start over. And then when I'm happy, I can trace it. Again, I like to overlap things, so I skip where they usually are, and then I overlap. And I'm gonna add some paint on the end of my brush. Maybe some of the paint is dripped on. That's how the little drops have gone. And I add my little bristles. Okay. So there's my sketchbook cover. And now I'm going to add a pattern in the back because I love patterns. So I like to use a ruler to get nice straight lines. So again, just filling up your page. Just keep that in mind whenever you're doing your sketchbook. You always, whatever you're drawing, you want to fill it up. Just drawing random stripes. They're not even perfect. Mine are kind of at different angles. Now I'm doing all this in marker because, you know, I do this every day, but you guys can do this with pencil first. Okay, now I don't want to draw over the word art. So, how do you think? You think my design's looking good? All right, I like to add a second line. Why not? Make it even crazier. You know, sometimes I just can't stop with my details. So I just like to draw and draw and draw. But you can make it as simple or as complicated as you wish. Remember, you can always turn your sketchbook if you need to draw the other way. Okay. So I'm having a good old time here. Making my sketchbook. Okay. Yeah, I think this looks really nice. Now, if I had too many lines, I won't be able to see it. Now, I notice I skipped a place, so I just fixed that. Okay. So now my sketchbook cover is finished. Well, now I gotta add color. So any pencil lines that I don't want, I like to erase those, because when you color on top of pencil lines, sometimes it traps them in there and they don't come out. So I like to just erase them. Okay? And the next time you see this, it'll be all in color. All right, bye. Okay, I'm back. So I've already colored in my sketchbook. Now you're probably wondering why it's shiny. I added packing tape on top, and that was a little challenging, so I would ask your parents to add packing tape on top if you really, really want to. You don't have to, but because I'm touching this a lot throughout the day, teaching lots of different classes, I like to add a protective cover or protective barrier on top. So here's my cover. You guys saw me draw it, and now I colored it in with my markers. And of course I had to use all the colors because I'm the art teacher. And because it doesn't stop there, I also decorated the back. So I added a fun few little pictures here and there. Again, I used lots of different colors. Oh, but nope, not done yet. I also decorated the pocket. Look how cool that pocket looks. And don't think I forgot about the front pocket. There's my front pocket. So it's all done. All right, and you can see I've already started doing my drawings inside. I can't wait to look back on our 9 weeks and see all of our beautiful drawings inside. Okay, and I did forget to mention that when you're drawing your letters, if you want to practice, you can always practice in your sketchbook. All right, so I don't mind if you use one of your pages to practice those letters. All right, boys and girls, see you later.